Wonky things
Especially
happening
for you.
in the NFC East this season, Carmen. Philadelphia Eagles on top of the division at 2-1. Strange games all the way through.
Yeah.
Weird field in week 1. Weird last-minute loss in week 2, and then a fourth quarter track meet against the Saints. But hey, they're 2-1. You can pick their warts if you want to, but 2-1 with a case to be 3-0.
Yeah.
And then you got the Dallas Cowboys coming off a second consecutive ass beating. They gave up 274 rushing yards to the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday afternoon. It feels like everybody's reacting and potentially overreacting for better and for worse. So, having seen a decent sample size of both of these teams, who'd you rather have? Philly, the Philadelphia Eagles, or the Dallas Cowboys?
I mean, I think if I had to choose, I would go no. But
just punt on the NFC East
for the purposes of this argument, I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think it's probably for the opposite reason that you're going to go for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, I don't know if that was going to be a mystery.
I haven't said that. Yeah. I haven't said that.
Okay, all right, fine.
I have not said that.
I don't know that I necessarily believe in Jalen Hurts. I think between the two quarterbacks, I'm going to take Dak all day, but I still do believe in the pieces in Philadelphia. You haven't had AJ Brown yet this season. He is going to come back eventually. We're going to see. I haven't seen an update on Devontae Smith yet. How hurt he is, if he's going to miss any time. Sounds like Lane Johnson has a concussion. He is not going to be out for an extended period of time. Give him a couple of weeks. I also need to kind of reiterate that they went through coordinator changes this offseason. Kellen Moore is a seasoned coordinator in this league, but he is not a seasoned coordinator in Philly with this group of weapons, with Jalen Hurts, with his specific skill set. There still, I think, is a learning curve that we are seeing clearly from the Philadelphia Eagles that I do think is going to round out and be better. And in the meantime, you have the defense, which held New Orleans to 12 points, who had scored 40 plus in each of their first two games. They are top 10 in completion rate against them, 7th highest pressure percentage of any team in the league, and they rank 4th in red zone rate and goal to go situations, which you can go up and down the field all you want, I guess, on the Philadelphia Eagles, but they do clamp down in the red zone, which is what matters because that's what that's when scoring comes into play. They are averaging 21 points a game, letting up 21 points a game. That's kind of middle of the pack, but again, Vic Fangio, we know that he is a good defensive coordinator. I do tend to think that teams have figured out Fangio's defense throughout the years, but he has, to your point earlier, he's got some dudes on that defense.
He does.
And
Jalen
especially
Carter
along the defensive line.
Bull in a china shop.
I do think that this is going to round out and continue to ascend. As weird as it's been the first couple of weeks, we do have to remember that they're going through system changes and with their personnel. So I think they're going to figure it out. They've proven that they can go further once they get to the postseason than the Dallas Cowboys have. So I'm going to take the Eagles.
Well, most teams have proven they
can yes, they have.
Can I get on my soapbox?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I hop up on my soapbox? What I'm not going to do, Carmen, I'm not going to get up here and say into a microphone that the Dallas Cowboys are a better team than the Philadelphia Eagles. I didn't think that before the season.
Yes.
I don't think that right now. I picked the Eagles to win this division.
Yeah, so did I.
So I'm not going to get up here and say that the Cowboys are a better team. But at the very least, I will roll with the Dallas Cowboys to weather this storm. And I woke up this morning a little bit amused.
Feeling dangerous?
Not quite Baker Mayfield style. I woke up this morning feeling confused by where we are in the cycle of Dallas Cowboy rhetoric.
Yeah, okay.
Because the Dallas Cowboys look exactly like the team that I thought they would be.
Same.
Like all summer long, I said, you're starting 2 rookies on the offensive line.
Yeah.
You have the worst running back room in the NFL. Your wide receiver depth is suspect, and your best wide receiver missed all of training camp, and teams typically take 3 or 4 weeks to get it together anyway, even when they don't miss training camp.
Yes.
Your defensive tackle depth is lacking. I don't know how I feel about your linebackers.
Nope.
And lo and behold, the Dallas Cowboys look like a team that can't stop the run.
Nope.
Can't get off the field on big downs. Can't run the ball. Can't consistently protect their quarterback, and don't have anybody besides CeeDee Lamb that they can rely on to separate.
Yeah.
That's what we thought they would be through 3 weeks.
But nobody wanted to hear it, least of all Jerry Jones.
It is, I will admit, it's been a lot uglier than I would have given it credit for. I mean, 274 yards on the ground to Baltimore is absurd, especially right after 190 to the New Orleans Saints. But we've seen the Cowboys struggle with this before. If the game script gets away from them, this is not a team that's built to play from behind. At least not effectively. My only thing is, it is a long season, and it's crazy how short people's memories are. Cowboys offense looked meh for the first 6 weeks of last season, and it culminated with an ass beating at the hands of the 49ers.
I recall.
They go into the bye week, they retool. They come out on fire. Dak Prescott plays like an all-pro. The defense finds some answers to things, and they wind up winning the division. I already said I think the Eagles are going to win this division, but do I still think the Dallas Cowboys are capable of being a playoff team? Absolutely, I do. Namely, because of what you just said. Even in a disappointing start to the season, Dak Prescott is playing at a perfectly acceptable level for a quarterback, even on the deal he just signed. I keep getting tweets and mentions about, this is what you paid $60 million for. I'm like, this is the least of your worries. It is absolutely the least of your worries. The run defense is incredibly suspect. I trust Mike Zimmer to find a way to make that, we'll say, acceptable.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think it's ever going to be good. And if it's not, trust, you mentioned Jerry Jones, who deserves a lot of criticism for the Cowboys' level of inactivity this offseason. But here's the rub. If the Cowboys stay this sorry for 3, 4, 5 more weeks, they'll do something about it. Because Jerry Jones is not about to let a season with playoff potential go down the drain without trying to do something. Last time they were in this position,
I was going to say, give me precedent here.
They started 3-5 and traded for Amari Cooper.
Yeah, okay.
Who reignited their offense and led them to a playoff berth in 2018.
Done that in the offseason.
They could have. But what I love to say about the Cowboys is they're going to ignore something until they can't anymore. And once they reach that point where they can't ignore it, they'll act like it was their idea to make a change. That's what they like to do. It's a long season.
Almost like you've covered the team for over
I've spent
a decade.
An unfortunate number of hours of my life figuring out how this team operates. It is a long season. I don't like the Cowboys aren't going to win the Super Bowl. I feel comfortable saying that right now. If anybody had illusions of that, please let go of them. But the Dallas Cowboys can absolutely be a playoff team. I don't think you can even completely write them out of the division race. I know how insane that sounds after the last 2 games that we've watched. But I'm just telling you, it's a long season. You've got the quarterback. You do have talent on this roster. Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beebe will be better players in November than they are right now.
Yeah.
Jalen Tolbert quietly has had 2 nice games filling in behind CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks. The run defense is even reaching acceptable levels of play.
Okay.
I think this team will be fine in the long run. And that's my Cowboys spiel. I reserve the right to revoke everything I just said if they lose to the Giants on Thursday night.
As much as you just said, and I completely agree with you on all fronts that your rookies are going to ascend. You're going to have to figure out solutions to the weapons around Dak Prescott and the lack of depth, especially. But don't you think the Eagles are ultimately going to figure it out better?
Yeah, no, the Eagles are a better team.
I still don't know why you take the Cowboys in this scenario.
Because I feel like it's somebody's job to put some rationality on this conversation, and I will be the one to do it. Because it's easy to dogpile on the most polarizing team in the league after 2 horrendous games, and they were horrendous. And the Cowboys do deserve criticism, but I've been doing this long enough to have an educated guess, we'll call it, that it's going to balance out in the big picture.
No, for sure. I just still think that, again, we're talking about 2 playoff teams likely.
I just
think that the Eagles are going to end up better off and having more success in the long run, given the fact that they are a better team.
I would agree with that.
So why would you take the Dallas Cowboys?
I got to carry my flag, man.
All right.
And hey, you said it too. We'll see. I will still bank on this offense to find a way to catch fire. And when they do that, all bets are off. Okay. So you never know for sure in the NFC East. All I'm saying is I will be one of the few people who's willing to say I think the reports of the Cowboys' demise have been greatly exaggerated. Now, do I think that the Cowboys have a very hard ceiling on what they're capable of?
Right.
Of course I do.
And I don't think that the Eagles have that same ceiling, is my point.
Ooh, that'll have to be a different conversation for a different time. I don't know. Maybe when we get an even larger sample size, we'll come back and play Would You Rather, because there's still some things I need to see from the Eagles before I can completely buy in.
For sure. But if we're talking ceilings, that's what I'm saying. I think that the Eagles have a higher one.